All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Soul of a Man 504, aka Damon Alvarez, and welcome to another amazing edition of Soulful Conversations, where we bring the most talented and amazing guests on the planet. And once again, folks, we have delivered a grand slam home run hitter. So, today, I just want her to, Ms. Nicole, I just want her to introduce herself, let you guys know exactly who she is.
Hey, y'all. My name is NICOLE CRUMP. I'm from Houston, Texas. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm an actress, full-figure model, media correspondent, and just an entertainer, singer. Just about everything except for dance. I can't dance.
Right, yeah, that's what the guy. When I auditioned for the stage play, the guy was like, "Well, can you sing?" I was like, "No." Like, I'm not even gonna tell you that lie. I said I could write, I could create, I could do all of that other stuff, but as far I am not a singer.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents have that ability. I could write music, but I was never a singer or anything. So with you being like so multi-talented, at the way you are now, when did it first hit you to say, like, I want to go down the realm of acting or entertainment?
I knew I wanted to be an actress when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like a small kid, like 6 or 7, just watching shows on TV, watching, the Cosby Show, watching, A Different World, even play. Charnel Brown was actually one of my favorite actors on A Different World. And to see, how they portrayed those characters and what they did, I always knew I wanted to be an actress. And get in some realm of entertainment, singing as well. I grew up in the church. My mom was a musician, praise and worship leader, choir director. And so I always kind of grew up, around music and, things like that. And so the music actually got me into acting as well. It kind of got me out of my box of,
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of do this. And it wasn't until 2012 I started, believing in myself enough to start doing stage plays and things like that. And then it just kind of did a ripple effect from there. And then I transitioned to Atlanta in 2014. And it's been a journey, it's been a journey, ups and downs. But nevertheless, I'm not giving up,
Yeah, and I think it's so telling nowadays, because I think people deal with like self-esteem issues as far as going for their dreams. No matter what it is, if it's something that, as far as like they want to go back to school to do this or that, or they want to be the next viral sensation for whatever. It's like people just have this sense of wanting to throw in the towel. So what made you continue to persevere, with your dream? Because, I know sometimes when you have like the wrong people around you, they're like, you don't want to do that. Why don't you just go become this or become that?
Sadly, I've had that. I've had people, and it wasn't even necessarily friends or people in the industry. It's family,
Mm-hmm.
Tell you, well, you can't act, you can't sing. And I've had literally, people tell me that in my family. I'm from siblings to cousins to, everybody, that just didn't believe in me. And you have to believe in yourself. And so for me, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I'm proving that I can do this to prove it to me. Because this is something that God has shown me. This is something that he has put in me. This is something that my heart desire. And so I'm not set to please anybody. I have to fulfill my dreams, because it's me. It's my self-esteem that I have to deal with. It's my journey that I have to deal with. And so I refuse to give up, because I'm not going to let myself down. I remember in 2017, my mom passed, and, honestly, you know, to be truthful, at some point in my career, you know, when I was starting out, you know, my mom, you know, didn't really believe in me. And, you know, it was said that, you know, she didn't think I could sing and she didn't think I can act. And, you know, all this is hearsay. It's never, you know, it came out of her mouth. And it wasn't until the day before she passed away at the hospital, she was bragging to the nurses and saying, you know, I'm so proud of her. You know, she's doing this, she's doing that. She's, you know, she had a chance to work with Tyler Perry and she's doing this and, you know, things like that. And my mom told me something. She said, you gonna make it, the day before she passed. And I remember those words. And I don't know what her version of me making it means, but to me, I know for me what it meant coming from her. And it meant to keep chasing your dreams, to step out of the box and believe in yourself. And so that I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it's a different path, you know, that we're on. Because you know, I tell people, you know, as far as, you know, with me being a writer and, you know, me putting out my stuff, you know, independently, you know, sometimes there's no roadmap, you know, for this. You can look at other people and see what they've done and, you know, and try to emulate that. But I tell them that your path and your journey is going to, you know, your path and your journey is going to be different. And, you know, and with that said, you know, what does it mean for you to walk in your purpose, especially in this time and age with everything that's going on?
I mean, it means to stay persistent, to stay consistent,
Mm-hmm.
to courage and to believe and to tune out the naysayers. I mean, you have so many people, you know, you mentioned earlier about, you know, your circle and having, you know, your circle. You have to have a circle. If your top five ain't doing, you know, ain't some steps ahead of you, then you need to surround yourself with people that are, you know, don't surround yourself with people who's going to bring you down, who's going to tear you down, and who stays complacent in life and what they're doing, and don't have any desire to follow their dreams or any, you know, the tenacity to keep pushing. So you have to be as strong as your top five. You know, if you're the smartest one in the room, then you need to change. You need to change your circle, you know. And so for me, it's just, you know, staying grounded and rooted and being humble and never giving up. It's a day-to-day basis. It's a day-to-day drive, you know, that you have to deal with to pursue your dreams. You know, it's not easy some days. Some days I wake up and I'm like, you know, I still work my 9-to-5 job, you know. I still work my 9-to-5. Granted, a lot of people out here do. Some celebrities do still work jobs. You know, we don't know about it, but some of them do. I know a few of them that work, you know, work from home, doing telemarketing or doing whatever they do from home. But they're still working to supplement, you know,
So, yeah.
not being, you know what I'm saying? It's real. We still got bills out here, you know?
Mm-hmm. And that's the
So,
thing. I think a lot of people think, you know, like, oh, you know, Ma, you know, you see you on TV or see you in the whatever, and they think, you know, you have, you know, $15 million in your bank and you can just sit at home and chill until the next thing comes around. But like you said, you know, when the bill collector call and, you know, and the next week, this is the delinquent and that's the delinquent and, you know, and this and that, you know, so the hustle is real. It really is. And so, you know, with that, you know, you wear, you know, so many different hats, you know, as a, you know, as a mom, as an actress, as an entrepreneur. How do you, you know, as a boss, as a CEO, you know, how do you balance those things out?
it's day to day. You have to delegate time wise, you know, you have to delegate, you have to have balance between, you know, your career and family. You have to know that balance, you know, and you have to, you know, you have to give it time. I know for me, you know, I wake up kind of early, you know, to kind of, you know, before I go to work, before I work my 9-to-5, I'm on, you know, Actors Access and I'm submitting to acting jobs. And, you know, I'm in contact with my talent manager. I'm in contact with my agent. I'm in contact with my now PR person. So we're working and you have to have a team. Let me say that, you know, because me naming all these people this is a part of my team. It's important to have a team that believes in you. So when I'm at work, it's people still working for me, you know, to get me to that next level. And so that's part of the balance, you know, having a team that's dedicated to your dream just as well as you are, you know, that's important.
So, you know, with you doing so many things, you know, how does it feel as a person, you know, how does it feel as a person that's a whole brand, you know, like you know, within themselves, you know, how does that make you feel? Because, you know, when we're kids, you know, we didn't know anything about brands and all of this and that. We were just like, you know, we see these people on TV and they're like, oh, you know, I want to be like, you know, I want to be like Whitney Houston or Eddie Murphy or, you know, whatever. But now it's like a lot, you know, it feels like 99% of it is business first.
Of course it is. And branding yourself it's not easy. You know, it's not easy because people think you know, you're supposed to be on this platform, you're supposed to be this way. I brand myself to be the actress, to be the singer, to be the comedic actress, to be, you know, the correspondent, to be the hairstylist, to be the makeup. I do my makeup, I do my hair. It's hard sometimes to brand yourself, you know, and you have to have a to do that. I know now, you know, just speaking about branding and even imagery and just, you know, the image of what people see, you know, a lot of times I do my photo shoots, you know, I tag my business, which is Nuke by Nikki, into my photo shoots because I have to brand myself. I may reach out to a makeup artist to have them, you know, pay them to do my makeup, but a lot of times people won't respond because they see that you know, it may be an intimidation factor where, okay, well, she do her makeup just as well as I can do it, so I'm not going to do it, you know, I'm not going to reply. You know, it's an intimidation thing. And I think, you know, branding yourself it's hard because sometimes you intimidate people and it's like, come on, y'all, we all in this together, we all trying to get somewhere. Don't have to be into, if I got something that you need, hey, I can help you with that, you know what I'm saying? But branding is very important, but it's also, you know, who you have on your team again, you know.
True. And, you know, well, you know, like for me recently, I was able to get on like, you know, a Zoom call, and they were just people in the industry who have, you know, like you said, it's good to have people like in your Fave Five who have, you know, been there and done that. And a lot of times, you know, it's, you know, even though everything that, you know, that I've accomplished, I still feel like I have long road ahead of me. You know, it's like, just a long road. Not to be, not,
You doing
yeah,
that.
yeah, not to be intimidated by those people, but
Right.
just to be, you know, around them, to soak up that game, you know, and that
Right.
knowledge. And you know, as far as you go, you know, how is it just being able to work with, you know, like just certain legends that you work with in the industry, and what have they taught you along the way?
You know, they've taught me, you know, different people teach different things. You know, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times people with celebrities, and you know, sometimes you don't have that relationship with people, but sometimes you do, and you get to build that. And you know, I know one of my very good friends, he's dealing with, you know, some things right now. You know, we just lost, you know, Chadwick Boseman,
Mm-hmm.
and he was very good friends with Chadwick, you know, and what he's taught me is to never give up, to inspire every day, you know, to inspire every day. And don't ever feel like you're so high on a platform where you can't reach back, you know. I've been in the room with some great people, some people that I've never thought I would be in the room with, fellowshipped with, you know, people that I've seen on TV that I grew up watching. I know Mr. Lou Gossett is one of my favorites.
Yeah, thinking about him. Yeah.
Favorite, and I love him to death. And every time he see me, come here, gal, come here. Oh, come here. I'm like, Lord have mercy. But he's amazing. But meeting people that I grew up watching and that my parents grew up watching and my siblings and, you know, everybody grew up watching it, and to be in the room and to have them pour into your life, it's life changing. And it's just something that I want to do. I want to be able to do. I want somebody to be able in the room with me and say, hey man, you know, I'm in the room with such and such, you know, she poured into me. That's my desire, is to always bring people up with me, man.
Do you still get like starstruck sometimes when you're you know, when you're in that situation? You like you know, it's like when you, I guess I call it the deer in the headlights, or to caught up in that moment, like, oh my God, that is such and such over there, man. I was just watching him in the movie yesterday, you know. So do you ever like get that butterfly type feeling, you know, when you're like in a room with like certain people?
No, I haven't gotten that yet. I say the closest I've probably gotten to it was Lou Gossett, you
Mhm.
know, and Sterling K. Brown. I like Sterling K. I wasn't starstruck, but I was just like, it felt so cool, you know, to speak with him and to be in his presence. He's so down to earth. I think I may have that feeling if I were to meet like Denzel or Samuel or you know, somebody like that, somebody that I really, really, really just, you know, love. But I haven't had a chance to meet those people yet. But, you know, we'll see. But no, I haven't been like, oh, because to me, they're people just like us, you know.
Yeah.
I remember, I'll tell you a quick story real quick. I met an actress that I really loved. I really loved this particular actress. And when I had a chance to meet her, you know, I was like, man, when I meet her, oh, I'm going to just tell her how much I love her, you know. And when I met her and I tried to do that, she had the worst attitude, the nastiest attitude. And I said, God, I would never treat anybody like that. And I wasn't asking for a picture or autograph or anything like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, she was just the worst.
Yeah. I heard a story about Chameleon, a rapper. I think he's out of Houston. He said a story about Michael Jordan, and you know, they was at a bar, and you know, he went up to Mike. He said he just bit on this jersey, and he was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna go ask Mike to sign it, ask for autograph." He's like, "Hey Mike, you know, you think you could sign this?" He's like, "Oh man, I ain't taking no picture with no N word," you know. And Chameleon that was like, he looked at him, he looked like Chameleon and said he was about to swing on him. So you never know. I mean, I don't know if you know. He said the other people, some other NBA people, was like, "Hey man, don't worry about it, Mike. That's just how he is," and blah 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 blah. But I mean, I get it. You know, like if you know you probably got people running up to you every day, but you know, it's just I don't know. Like you said, I just couldn't. You know, just knowing this journey, I don't know. I couldn't treat people like that. But you know,
Right.
I've had those moments where I was, you know, where I was starstruck. You know what I mean? But you know, like let's say, you know, I'm a huge wrestling fan. Let's say, you know, the Rock went from wrestling to you know, now he's the biggest movie star in the world. So if I saw the Rock, you know, I might, you know, my heart might be beating a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to mess this up. You know, so you know, but I think you know we have those learning like moments. Like, do you ever? Because you played a vast, like I was looking at your I was looking at your acting reel on YouTube, and you played some a vast variety of roles. And you know, have you ever been like just in an acting moment and had a real life, you know, moment like aha, you know, this is something that I can really take home, and
Mhm.
something that you know I've learned in this moment, but I can add to real life.
Of course. I know for me, you know, my process is upon getting the script, you know, reading the script and dissecting the script. I always relate every character I play. I don't care if she's a lawyer to a prostitute to a crackhead. I always relate that character back to who Nicole really is.
Mhm.
I think that's the only way you can be authentic and get across, you know, the screen is always related back to you, always become the character. And that's literally, if I'm a crackhead, I'm a crackhead. I just played a role in Tennessee to where I was in prison, you know, and, you know, I don't smoke in real life. Smoke. I had to smoke in this scene, you know, in these
Mhm.
scenes here for this character. And I became that, you know, my mom smoked growing up, so I know how to hold a cigarette. I know how she blow it out, you know, and things like that. And so
Right.
it's just become a character on any role that you're portraying, and always refer back to, you know, I don't watch a whole lot of TV, but I do study different actors, you know, whether they're Black, white, Hispanic, Asian. If I see somebody that I really love and I really love their work, I do study them. And so study and just, you know, develop your end on how you feel. I don't feel like you have to go to school to become an actor or an actress. A lot of people say you have to, you know, if you're a natural born, and I'm a natural born actress, you know, taking workshops and classes and things like that to hone your craft and studying. I think, you know, if it's your desire and it's what you want to do, you can do it.
Right. Like I was going to ask you that, you know, did you, you know, do any type of, you know, like some people say, you know, hey, you know, I went to Juilliard, or, you know, I went
Yeah.
to Los Angeles Film School, and, you know, I learned, you know, in front of the camera and behind the camera and how to write and X, Y, Z. So, you know, and then there's people who, you know, do you feel like there are people who are just destined for this? Like if you have it, you have it. And if you don't, you don't, no matter what.
Right. I think, you know, I know some awesome actors who have went to school, went to, you know, Yale, who went to, you know, different type of schools, Juilliard, even, who are phenomenal actors. But I also know people who said, hey, you know what, I think I'm gonna try this. And they're just as great. They're just as great. So when you're destined for it, when you're born for it, nobody can stop you. Nothing can stop you. You know, you don't have to, I don't have to have a degree behind my name to say that I'm an actress, you know, and believe it, you know, believe that I can be in the room with the best of them and make it happen. And that's not being arrogant or at all, but it's crazy because one of my favorite actresses, you know, she had mentioned something before, you know, in the media, and she kind of frowned upon people who didn't go to school for acting, you know, and said, you know, you're not a real actress, or you're not a real actor if you didn't graduate with a degree from this, you know.
Mhm.
That's not true. You know, that's not true.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like an old school way of thinking, because you know, I went to school for business. You know, I didn't, you know, I mean, I took, you know, some writing, you know, English and all of that stuff. But I mean, you know, somebody asked me, I did an interview, somebody said, well, who gave you permission to, you know, to write the stuff that you write? I said, nobody. I said, I just write across multiple genres, just like you can act across multiple genres, you know. That's
Mhm.
just, you know, that's just one of those, and that's just one of those natural, you know, God-given abilities, you know. And
Mhm.
it's just that I'm not mad at the next person, you know, if they're
Right.
taller or whatever or whatever, you know. So let me ask you this: do you ever see yourself, you know, do you ever see yourself like working behind the scenes, you know, more as, you know, as far as like directing, producing, you know, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I have worked behind the scenes
Hmm.
on um I remember a particular web series a few years back that I was a part of. I was one of the producers for. Um and I'm also writing now. So I'm writing my script now, that I want to bring back home to Houston and cast some of our Houston actors, to try to give, you know, a platform for my city.
Hmm.
So it's a period piece, set back in the 60s. But yeah, I'm looking to do that, writing, and I haven't got on the directing side as of yet, but definitely writing and producing. I have a little bit of knowledge of, and have that on my IMDb as well.
And you have such a, you know, you have such an amazing kind of go getter spirit. You know, like where do you, you know, where do you attest that from? You know, just learning that vibe.
Um, I've always had a passion to kind of do what I desire to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, I still hear voices in my head from, the naysayers, and I'll say, when I was a kid, um, being a victim of sexual abuse and things like that. The particular gentleman who assaulted me and who molested me, he used to say things as he would, molest me, like I wouldn't be nothing. I'm nothing. you know, and so that still plays in my mind a little bit, and you try to tune it out, but it's still there. And so I've always been, for me, that's motivation. It's like, somebody telling me I can't have something, and I know I can have it. I know I have the potential to do it. I know I have the talent to do it. That plays a part, into me making myself happy, saying that I can do it. And so I've always had a go-getter spirit, and I always will have it, because when you're a go-getter, you have the opportunity to be a blessing to somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
and so my whole thing with this acting thing, and being on a platform, my end goal is to have a school for children who have been raped and molested, who have a desire to be in the arts. That's a part of my desire, is to have something like a safe haven for those kids in the arts to be who they would like to be, to have a voice. I didn't have a voice when I was a kid. I thought I didn't have a voice because I was told I didn't have a voice, but I had a voice. And now realizing that I'm a grown woman, I have a voice, and I can make a change with my voice, and I can help other kids who have dealt with the same issues have a voice. That's my drive.
Yeah,
That's
and you
why.
do. One thing I love about you and your persona, you have a worldwide appeal, and I think it's really time for people to to know and understand the real you. Like, you're not somebody, like, you're a force, to be you're a real force to be reckoned with. It's like, I tell people that, there's new energy coming through. Y'all just got to get ready for it. You know what I mean? It's like people like me, there's people like yourself, and there's a whole nother generation that is coming, and we're
Mhm.
coming, we don't, we understand what no is, but we always, like, we have a way of like, we have a flair for the dramatic, and we have a way of, we have a way of just, naturally just figuring it out. So
Right.
with you, doing so many roles, sometimes they say, like, actors have to go through therapy if the role is that dramatic and is that deep. Like, how do you, like, when the director says cut, we're finished, how do you pull back, from that role, especially if it's something that's so deeply emotional?
Um, some directors, they'll yell room tone, and room tone is basically, I guess, just the silence of the room. And I guess it gives you time enough to breathe and come down from that particular character. And then prayer, I joke a lot, and we follow each other on social media. We have for years.
Yeah.
I joke a lot, but I pray a lot as well.
Mm-hmm.
I pray a lot as well. And so staying prayed up, and just meditating, that'll bring you down and bring you back to where you need to be.
Right. So your
Yeah.
your relationship with with God, the one, the creator, how does that help you to maneuver through this through the ocean and the shark infested waters that is entertainment?
Oh man, it helped me a lot. At one point I had got so discouraged to where I stopped praying, I stopped going to church, I stopped, you know, focusing on God. And I can tell you, Damon, in that period of my life, it was the darkest place. It was the darkest place. You see so much. you take on so much, you deal with so much. And I realized that without God in my life, without my prayer life, without my meditation, without knowing that he is here with me and having a relationship with him, I totally would be lost. And ain't no telling where my mind, would be, so developing that walk with God and keeping that walk with God, because this industry will eat you up if you allow it to. I refuse to do that because I know who I serve in spite of, so it's just having that relationship with God, man. That's what's going to keep you grounded and rooted.
Yeah, I think it's a part of walking in your purpose and walking in the light, and knowing that I think a lot of people just don't understand, who God is and how God works. Even with me, like going through my spiritual journey, I was, doing this and doing that, and God like just has an ability to just pop up and be like, hey, look, I've been here all the time. You good. Just keep, just keep moving like you moving, and you good. And I think just having people like, how do I talk to God? And it's just like, you can talk to God just like we had just having a conversation right now.
Right.
Do it with, like
right.
I said, with umbrance and respect. And you'll, it's like people always say in the streets, keep that same energy. You just you gotta stay balanced, and you have to keep that same energy. So when looking at because I remember a time in the 90s where everybody and their grandmother wanted to be a rapper. Everybody was claiming to be at the studio. They got a mixtape coming out, and they know this person and that person. Do you and now and when I put out my first series of books, everybody and their mama looked like they wanted to be an author. So do you see it the same way, as far as as far as you going deeper into the entertainment realm? Do you see it like the same way, like everybody is flocking to either Atlanta or California? They want to be actors or models or things like that?
Yeah, they I've noticed that, and like I said, I don't knock anybody for wanting to follow their I had a couple family members actually hit me up like, man, cuz you doing it out there in Atlanta, man, I think I'm gonna come out there and be an actor. I'm like, hey, come on. Listen, don't get caught up on the glitz and glamour because it's work. I had one friend who ended up coming on set as an extra, and she was like, girl, I don't see how y'all do this. Like, it takes 2 hours to get this one shot. I'm like, hey, you gotta have a heart for it. If your heart ain't in it, it's not gonna work for you. But Atlanta is a place. A lot of people say, hey, come to LA. Let's go to LA. Let's do this. Let's do that. LA is not for everybody. Just like Atlanta is not for everybody. Mm-hmm. I jumped out and came out. I prayed about my move for like at least a year or so before I left. And I then took an acting workshop in Houston with Tommy Ford, Tommy from Martin. Mm-hmm. And Tommy, after the workshop, he pulled me to the side and he said, hey, if you're really serious about this, I think you should move to Atlanta. Not knowing, and I was like, I think about it. He was like, I'm serious, move to Atlanta. And I thought about it, prayed about it, and I had to leap, and Tyrese said something on a Facebook video one day, and I was watching it in the middle of the night, and he said, how you going to expect God to bless you with the desires of your heart, and you want to follow your dreams, and you want to be an actress or an actor? This is what he said. Mm-hmm. He said, but you in Shreveport, Louisiana, where they filming at? What, not knocking Shreveport. I got family in Shreveport. But that was his example. He was like, you got to go where it is. You got to go where it is. And I listened to that. I prayed about it, and I ended up moving to Atlanta. My first week here, I got something with Tyler Perry. My first 3 days here, I landed something with him and did a whole 4 seasons on For Better or Worse with Tyler Perry, Tasha Smith, Coca Brown, Michael Jai White. And so Yeah, I mean, California is not for everybody, but then some people may make it work in California. But the industry is definitely coming here. I got a call from my agent in New Orleans about 2.5 weeks ago. He said, "Hey, where are you?" I said, "I'm in Atlanta." He said, "Stay there. Things are coming to Atlanta way more than what they are. So stay there, you know." And a lot of productions are migrating here from LA to Atlanta. So, you
Yeah, because
know.
it's interesting. I remember when I did a book tour with NAACP. I think it was 2018. I was in Detroit, and it was a lady from Disney. She was an exec. She said, "You know what? If you truly want to, acting, writing, whatever it is you want to do," she says, "you got to be three places." She said, "Ontario, Canada, Los Angeles, California, or Atlanta, Georgia." And I took, yep, and I took that to heart. And one thing with me, I feel like, it's just preparing yourself for the opportunity. How big is
Yep.
it to have, like a digital footprint, or maybe to just also maybe just to put your own work out there. So if somebody wants to say, like, okay, well, who are you, like, well, hey, just add my name into Google me real quick, and whatever it is, something will pop up about you. If it's a speaking engagement, if it's a book that you wrote, if it's something that that you start in some kind of a stage play. So how important do you feel like having a digital, like, maybe like footprint helps you to maybe like get into the industry?
It's very important. We live in a digital world.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a world of technology. So it's very important, and I feel like it's a blessing in a way. You have people who, I know a lot of Instagram comedians and Instagram models who branded themselves off Instagram and who are paid right now, because of media, because of the digital world. I think it's very important that you brand, because like I say, everything is digital now, even from auditions right now. We have our eco cast. When we're auditioning, we don't go into an audition room with casting
Yeah,
directors.
I heard about
We
that.
are basically on a Zoom. It's time for you to audition. I'm gonna set my phone up here and I'm gonna audition for them. And they could be in London, they could be in Rome, they can be anywhere, but that's how it is. So it's very important to brand yourself, in the media. And then just make those channels available, because people are going to research you. If you auditioning for something, or you going out to do something, they're going to want to know who you are and what you do. And you have to be Googled. They're going to Google you. They're going to Google you, point blank, period. So it's very important. And it's also, it helps you with your brand.
So, as far as the term, your reputation preceding itself, how important, how, people, like you say, you get up early in the morning and make time for XYZ, just like, being on time for even a virtual interview, or going into the studio on time, having the right attitude. I heard, a young lady said that, there was a young lady, she was an actress, and she was on a certain show, and she, trying to sleep her way to the top. She slept with this person and that person, but that was good for that show. But her name got out there, and it kind of blackballed her. So how important do you feel like having your reputation preceding itself? It's almost like an unspoken introduction in a sense.
It's very important. It's very important. You got to have integrity about yourself. I'm real big on, listen, if I gotta sleep with you for this role, it ain't for me. It ain't for me. Being punctual, being, like I say, having integrity, being on time, being serious about your late. If you're serious about it, I don't care if it is on a phone call, you wouldn't be late. If you don't have any integrity about yourself, you're not going to make it very far. You're not going to make it very far in this industry. And some people, sadly, they feel like they have to, sleep with someone, or, give their body up, or sacrifice, something to make it. And I feel like if God is with you, and you're with God, and you know, you're doing what you need to do, you don't have to have those situations. You don't have to execute on those situations, because weapons gonna form. That don't mean you got to make them prosper though. So
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people, you know, like, you know, they think of that old school casting room couch, and you know, and I understand there's some of the industry is still like that, and a lot of it is not like that. You know, how would you speak to someone, or what would you say to someone who has an idea but is afraid to put it out there? Like I talked to my homeboy. I said, well, look, let's put all of our talents out there. Whatever bites, bites. You know, if it's your comedy, if it's this writing, if it is acting, whatever it is, we're gonna run with it. And then everything else that we've done, you know, we'll be able to, you know, implement that into it also.
I feel, you know, anybody who has an idea and want to, you know, put your idea out there to act on, you got to act on it. You got to write the vision. You got to make it plain. You got to execute it day by day. I don't care if it's 5 minutes of your time to get something done. Do something each day to make your dream come true, to be effective in what you are doing. You know, a winner never quit, and a quitter never win. We know that. So if you quitting, if you never, you have to start. Let's say that. Let's start. You got to start, because you never know what your potential is and how you can bless somebody if you never start. You got to start. You got to believe in yourself. So do something daily to advance your career, to advance your dream, and make it a reality. It'll never happen if you don't start it. Start.
Yeah,
That's my advice. Like,
right.
you can do it.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Surprise on.
I know. I think a lot of people, especially maybe like the younger generation, they feel like everything has to be handed to them without putting in the work. And, you know, like you said, when you're on these sets, you're talking about like 10, 12-hour days, you know what I mean? But within that opportunity, within that opportunity, you never know who you're going to meet, or how it's going to expand your territory, you know, so that you can, like they say, your dream or your vision will grow, and it'll make room for you, you know, instead of you, right place, right time, right people coming all together. And, you know, that's how it works. So, so we're going to go ahead and, wrap this up, because I know that you are a very busy young lady, and, I know you got a million things going on, but, in closing, I just want to say, thank you, for taking up the time. Yeah. I have been, we have been, kind of, known each other through social media for a while. A few times she threatened to take me off of her Facebook. She said, "Look, do not inbox me for nothing." She's in the beginning. She's like, "Do not inbox me." Yeah, because you were very stern with that. You were like, "Listen, do not inbox me." And this was like years ago. And you were like, "Look, do you want me to take you off the page?" I said, "I'm gonna be good. I'm sorry." And,
Why did I say that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I might have said something about. I don't know. I don't know. I think it was. I don't know. It might have. I don't know. I don't know. It might have just been
Was I
maybe.
playing? No, I'm gonna tell you while we record real quick how I was like. I said he gonna make me fry him. Anything, like, if you need anything, always reach out to me. I believe in you. I watch your progress. I watch your your books, and even you had a kids book out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are doing some great things. So never feel like you can't reach out to me. We're better than that. We think we've been Facebook
No.
friends.
I would just. I would just say like.
You be down in my city, and I'd be like, I'm a fry.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I guess I'm trying to maneuver. Trying to maneuver through Houston sometimes isn't the easiest thing. So it's like you have to. Houston is like you really got to find your own niche. You do. You got to
You be giving them people the blues talking about Houston.
I
Be like,
know,
Lord.
man. You gotta find your own niche in this city. But what one thing Ms. Brown was saying, she has her heart set on. She's like, yeah, Houston is going to be it. Houston is going to be the next big thing,
Yeah,
movie. And I was like, I said, okay, I mean, we'll see, but I think what one interesting thing is, with COVID and all of this, being at home, it's helped a lot of people to either open up some kind of business, go,
right,
just kind of get a second win and realize what they truly want to do, and
right,
just go for it. So,
right.
so what are some, like what's like an encouraging word or some encouraging words that you can give to somebody out there who, just maybe, I think we touched on this a little earlier, just somebody who, may be in a small town or some like Nowhereville, USA, who really, wants to go and, who may want, who can either write or sing, or who wants to go for
Right.
their dreams.
I mean, right now, I think we have an advantage because everything is virtual, right now. So wherever you are, even if you're in Nacogdoches, I don't know, some small town, I don't know. Oh shoot, Alexander, Louisiana, I don't know. Listen, it's virtual and it works. It works now. I believe you can make it work now. However, a lot of opportunities, people want you to be in the same city, so to me, I would encourage anybody to pray about it, um seek seek wisdom in the move, if you have to move, seek wisdom on it and pray, like I say, pray about it, but then follow your heart. And sometimes, y'all, we just gotta jump. You just gotta jump. You got a talent and a gift. Jump. Stop waiting for approval from people. Stop, and because people will never give you they'll never just give it to you and say, hey, this is what listen. Jump. Don't be
Yeah, I hear,
afraid.
I hear Steve Harvey talking about that all the time, and
Mhm.
people look at him and he's, has so many millions in the bank now, but like he said, when he first started doing comedy, he was broke. There was a time he was gonna give up and go home and do
Mhm.
this and X, Y, Z. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is. This journey, ladies and gentlemen, is not for the faint of heart. It is not. But I just want to thank Mr. Nicole Crump, the amazing Miss Nicole Crump, for coming on and dropping the jewels and giving us the wisdom here on Soulful Conversations, ladies and gentlemen. And again, we're gonna bring this thing to a close, and I hope you guys have really enjoyed this interview. And I hope if you do have a dream out there or something, because this is a great year where things are just unfolding. This is a this is a great year for not just manifesting but master manifesting. You're
Yeah.
talking about, look at it like now, people say, well, where do you want to be 5 years from now? Don't think of 5 years, think of 20 and 30.
Right.
These are those times, and the times that we're living in now. But we're gonna bring this down to a close. Thank you guys so much. Again, I am Damon Alvarez. She is Mr. Cole Crump. And again, folks, as always, we have this peace. Peace.